Hey, what's up? My name is Servida. I'm here at Cymatics Studio in Atlanta, and today I'm gonna make a beat for you from scratch. Okay, for the sake of time, we're gonna do something really quick. So, for me, I'm most comfortable with hip hop, kind of trap, so we're gonna do that today. I know there's a preset in Omnisphere that I'm pretty fond of under Bells and Vibes. Dulce Tone River. I wish I had my MIDI keyboard, but I'm gonna just toggle the piano keys here so we can just preview it. There's a lot of extra stuff going on, so I'm gonna turn off the effects and we're gonna make a simple melody. When I'm doing something really quickly, I kind of just go off of some kind of melody in my head, and maybe that's inspired by the sound. So I'm hearing something really simple. Maybe like 140-ish. I'm hearing this. That sounds really great, actually. So we're gonna start off really simple right now. Duplicate it. Let's do a bit of variation near the end of it. That sounds good. I'm gonna put some chords under it. Looks like we're in the key of A minor. So let's start with this. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Put another one there. Just using my ear to kind of guide me. Another chord change there. I think we can move this down to semitone. Same rhythm as the previous part, but we'll change the chord one more time. Be this. That sounds good. I'm really happy that we're doing this so quickly. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna export this to audio. And the reason we're doing that is just because in hip hop nowadays, people really like when samples and melodies are really ugly. It's hard to describe, but the same way that J Dilla has really, humanized drum sounds, we're kind of replicating that, but in regards to a melody. So I want to move this to probably C minor. So between A and C is 3 semitones. Sounds great. I'm going to duplicate it. We're going to make it unique. I'm going to bring it down an octave, which is 12 semitones, which will bring us to 900. Oh, that sounds great. Okay, that's really spooky sounding. Okay, I want to have that at the beginning, like this. Let's do a bit of processing on it. So I'm going to take these two, move them onto empty sample tracks. Wait, let me just make sure which one is which. You have to label your mixer tracks correctly because you don't want to get confused. It's the low octave. On the low octave, what should we put on it? There's a plugin on Santoids called Crystallizer, which I'm a huge fan of. It gives a lot of ambience. It's like a small echo delay. I'm going to move it up an octave. This sounds good. I'm putting both sides of the headphones on. Okay, I'm going to move it to 1/4 note. We're kind of just playing around right now and seeing what sounds good. Messing with the dry wet knob so we don't have it too overbearing. High octave. I'm gonna get a reverb send. Just getting an empty mixer track, docking it to the right, and putting fruity reverb on it. Turning the wet up, dry all the way down, so we can just send mixer track straight to it to put some extra reverb. This sounds great. Okay, let's do a couple drums. I want to do some more instruments later, but it's better if we get a nice foundation going. So I'm going to get a kick. New pattern. I like to start with hi-hats just to get a simple two-step going. We're going to layer it right on top. Just scrolling through drum sounds, seeing what sounds good. This one might sound good. Just slowly building. I want to do a bit of editing on this one. Just taking the out so it's a bit tighter. And wait, wrong way. Just moving the time knob. So it's a bit more on the high end. That's a good start for an intro, I think. I'm gonna duplicate this pattern so we can add a kick drum and make it a bit more complex. So let's just look at this drum pattern by itself. Just once again using my ears. I have the beat kind of mapped out in my head. So we're kind of just trying to translate it into the da, to the da bum, ba bum. Actually, let's do two kicks there. Make this twice as long. And there. Good. I'm going to go into this tab, which is called the graph editor, and we're going to just randomly move some of these velocities down. Once again, we're trying to just create a more human element, just giving it more dynamics. Just slowly mixing the track as we go along. Personally, I like to do that just because it bothers me to listen to a beat unmixed. So let's get some percussion sounds in there. This one sounds good. Bring it up a bit. Probably one there. Okay, let's hear that now with the melody. So we're definitely going for some kind of dark trap kind of vibe. Yeah, this is turning out well. What do I want to do now? I think it's time to put some 808s down, so we just get a nice bass presence. I think I'm going to go for maybe a more short 808. I'm not remembering my hotkeys. There we go. I'm going to put it on a different pattern in case we don't want it to go with the drums all the time. Now, if I remember correctly, the chords are A minor, G major, F minor. No, A minor, E minor. I don't remember. Okay, I just know we're in the key of C sharp. No, C minor. Okay. I'm going to move the 808s up an octave just so that we can hear the pitch better. Probably here. And I'm going to pretty much just layer it on top of the kick drum just so we get the initial punch from the kick. So I'm just gonna look for the placement right now. I think right there. So let me just see if everything matches up. Okay, now we just have to get it on the right root notes. That is right. I think we would go to G major. That sounds good too. I think we're back onto F minor now. This is on a chord, but it works as a passing note toward the C. So let's hear this. Too muddy. One more. I'm going to put on cut itself so that the bass notes don't overlap. We are also going to put it on a mixer channel and sidechain it to the kick. The kick is on mixer track 1, I think. It's not. Let's put it on mixer track 1. Getting a third mixer track, call it the sidechain. Routing the 808 to the sidechain, sidechaining the kick to the sidechain track, and then we are going to open up a limiter. So we can this one. So I'm just gonna hear these two by itself. Sounds good to me. Okay, let's keep going. Drums are pretty simple in trap beats, so this is a really good start. We might do a bit more later, but let's try and focus on another melody. I don't know if my laptop can handle it, so we're gonna just put a new. No, we won't make any more omnis. We'll just use the one for today. Let's get maybe a guitar. I'm thinking of something a bit more melodic. This one might be good. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is kind of listen at the beat, and if my head just comes up with some kind of melody that would go really well with it, we're gonna put that down. And this is a really good skill to know just because it really quickens your workflow. And a good way to practice doing this is just listening to a lot of melodies, making melodies, and it's kind of similar to, you know, developing a skill like rapping freestyle or something. Okay, I definitely hear something. So I hear 2, 10. That's what I hear. Okay, let's kind of work with the note length. Want to decay all the way. We'll repeat it, do a bit of variation. Okay, let's test that out with the melody and see how that goes. If it sounds good, we will do some more. Yeah, that's great. Okay, I'm going to once again convert this into audio. I might take rid of the effects. Oh, we need the effects. That does not sound the same. Okay, yeah, let's just take. I want to get rid of the reverb. Let me go look for it. Turning the release down on both of it. Just so we can put our own send reverb on it, and it just makes everything more cohesive if everything's using the same reverb. Okay, let's do this. The hotkey in FL20 to export audio is Control-Alt-C, by the way. Okay, put this on a mixer track, and let's do some stuff. So definitely reverb first. I think we can duplicate it, bring it down an octave. You know what? Pitching things down an octave is really good because it creates a lot of variation, but it's still within, you know, the same kind of vibe. Whoa! Oh, that sounds good. Okay. This is because what I'm gonna do now is put them both on separate octaves. I think I want to process them a bit differently. So for this one, I think I'm gonna put a delay of some kind. Oh, you know what we should do? I'm gonna send both of them to another mixer track like that. We're gonna put RC20 over it. RC20 Retro Color, if you don't know, it's a plugin that kind of emulates analog tape, and once again, it's just talking about making something a bit ugly to give it more authenticity. So let's hear that. So you can add things like final noise and wobble distortion. Let's hear it by itself. I want to hear a little A/B. I think we'll choose this preset. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay, let's hear that with the drums. Just gonna turn everything down a bit. Reverb on the low end. That sounds pretty good. Okay, so I'm kind of starting to see the structure of the beat now. This simple riff here is going to work as just the backbone of the whole track. So I kind of want this to go throughout the whole thing. Especially this lower octave. So we can just forever as long as I want to make it. We should have to save this, by the way. Okay. Okay, so just want to have that low bell throughout the whole thing. I'm gonna just kind of sprinkle this octave one up, maybe every other time like that. So I want to try and make a verse. Let's try and get an intro, a verse, and then a hook section. So intros are usually, 4 to 8 bars. I like to base it on time. So if we're at 8 bars, it's at 13 seconds. That might be a bit too long, so we'll cut it in half. So we'll say the verse starts here, 16 bars usually. So we can do something like that. Okay, let's do it here actually. Alternate like that, which means the hook would start here. We can bring the octave into it now. Kind of have everything firing at the same time. Let's bring the guitar thing I did. I want to have the octave up before it, so we're going to move this to the side like that. There it is. Okay, wrong one. This is here. Okay, there we go. Just slowly structure the beat. Kind of want to make it a bit lower, just so we give it a more ambient feeling. I don't want it to be too upfront. Okay, so definitely we'll bring the 808s during that hook. Let's have it like that. So we're kind of just putting blocks in, and then once we're done, we can get a bit more intricate. So this pattern would work for the verse, but we're gonna make it a bit more complex during the hook. So let's kind of, maybe some hi-hat rolls or something. So I'm gonna go here. We're just gonna kind of layer stuff under it. Using my ear again, I hear some kind of little triplet thing going on, maybe like that. Play around with the velocities. Bit higher in pitch. I hear maybe some kind of hi-hat roll around this area. I have to change it back to grid. I'm gonna keep it, but maybe put it somewhere else. It's just a bit too long, so we'll cut it in half. Velocity is way too high. We'll do that. Let's do a randomizer. We can mess with the pitch of it, just to give it some more flavor. Actually, let's duplicate this even more so we can do something else. Something like this. Just changing the velocities again. Turning on loop mode so that we can hear it with the rest of the drums. That sounds good to me. Here we go. So here's pattern 4. Let's do an open hat as well, actually. Something a bit more trappy like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it to cut itself, which is the overlapping notes function, and we're going to actually link it to the snare so that when the snare hits, the open hat will turn off. So we're just cutting it to the same number. Where should we put it, though? Put one right here. And maybe not there, one right here. Gotta turn it down a bit. Yeah, have it loop. That sounds good. Let's hear that. Still a bit too loud for the guitars. Just thinking if I have any more ideas. I think we can do one more instrument, but it seems like the drums sound good. Okay, let's go back into Omnisphere. Maybe some kind of keyboard. I'm thinking something more long and sustained because we're having a lot of melodic things, so maybe something more in the background. Now let's try this one. Keys. I should be I'm not labeling my stuff enough, which I usually do. Sorry about that. Okay, I just want to hear this with the melody by itself. Just get. I'm hearing something really sustained, but not with like an attack. Something. So we'll move this attack up so it kind of swells into it, almost like strings or something. A bit too much, like that. Maybe some kind of glide so that it just gives it that kind of feel. We are in C minor, so let's. What do I hear? So I hear that. Just kind of. Yeah, really simple. Just having long sustained notes. Maybe I bring it up an octave. No. We just need to get rid of some of that low end, but we can do that later. Put some harmonies under that. Yeah, that sounds good. So we're just following the chord. That's still a C minor. I think we're in G major here. So that. Do a little suspension like that. Okay, that sounds good, I think. We just have to clean it up a bit. It might be the effects. That's a lot better. Okay, let's export it again. We're just exporting everything to audio. Bring it into a mixer track. We'll do some cool stuff with it. We'll do another crystallizer, I think. That'll be cool. I'm going to use a lot of Soundpoint stuff. We're going to put some pan man on it. So just it pans from left to right. Stereo separation, bunch of reverb. We're making it really ambient now. Maybe a phaser or flanger. Just want to hear it by itself. It might be a bit too much. Panman is a bit too much as well. Actually, let's change it to that preset. Turn the dry wet down a bit. Okay. Ooh, we should run that through the RC20. Ooh, yeah, that sounds crazy. And let's duplicate it, bring it down an octave. I'm just repeating the exact same things, but it's just a lot of things you can do to make it clean. Actually, break it up an octave. It's kind of muddy. That might be too ugly. Okay, I think we'll just keep it like that. So I can hear this as like a really good bridge section. Just a way to transition into this guitar part. So I'm just trying to figure out where to put it. Still a little bit quiet. I want to bring the volume up. Take some of the low in case there's some. Yeah, I think this is enough stuff. We just have to structure it a bit. So, 4-bar intro. So we can have this kind of come in. Actually, I don't like this snare because it's too sustained. So we're going to use the smaller snare right at the beginning. There. Playing with the velocities. Beat would drop somewhere around this area. Let's put a second 808, layering it with the double kick. Okay. Maybe we bring the 808s during the second half of the verse, which would be, wait, I'm not counting right. Oh wait, no, it starts, ooh, what am I doing? This, okay, beat starts here, aha. So we do that. This might be too long of a verse. How many seconds is that? They're like 6 to a minute. That's kind of long. No, it's fine. It really depends what you're making a beat for. If I was doing this for as a beat on Spotify by itself, I would probably cut this in half. If we're selling it to a rapper, this might be a good spot. Okay, bring the 808s kind of halfway in like that. Have everything come in like that. We can bring the intro drums at the beginning here. We're going to take the 808s away right at this section just so there's a bit of breathing room before it drops there. So just having contrast and highs and lows like that really just make everything hit harder. This kind of random, so now what I'm thinking is we cut this in half like that. Introduce this a bit earlier so that it's just not all over the place. I swear I turned this thing down so much and it's still too loud. This is a great. Just doing just little arrangement things. When it comes to, you know, cutting things out, there's not really a wrong answer. We're just kind of experimenting, seeing what sounds good. This is almost done. We just have let's do a couple little things. It's loud too. Mixing as we go as usual. Bring the keys back in. Bring the keys back in for maybe 2 bars like that. Just kind of like a reintroduction to the intro. And then, yeah, okay, I think I'm liking that structure. So we kind of have that. Then we just go back to the verse and we do the hook again. And we should come up at maybe 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and some change. So let's hear it. Let's see that. Yeah, we're up at 3 minutes. So this would be like a complete beat for me. Are there any things that I want to do? Maybe a crash. Crashes are under crashes. Something a bit more tingy. This is good. You just gotta edit it a bit. Bit too long. Bring that out down. Bit too loud. Pull the volume down. Bit of reverb. I'm going to take it, duplicate it, make it unique. We are going to reverse it. That out back up, so it kind of swells into itself. We are going to move it like that, so we don't get that initial transient, like that. Just lining it up right there. Make it a bit quieter. I don't want it to be too abrupt. Okay, what else can we do to this to make it a bit better? We can do little pauses, so we can just cut that out. And this just gives it a bit more dynamics, just makes it a bit more interesting. So maybe let's try and take it out like that. Turn the hi-hats down. Just do some variation with these. Actually, let's try and just mess around with the pitch, just for this section. Kind of loop this part right here. It's too muddy. Maybe a bit higher. Just doing random stuff with the velocity. No, that sounds good. Okay, I definitely hear something. Just when they play those 4 notes down like that, we can leave it like that. We can bring the crash swell thing back right here, just so we know we're transitioning into the second half. Kind of repeat it for the other parts like that. Okay. We're about done. Let's maybe do something a bit more interesting for the intro. So this is what we have. Fairly boring, just in contrast with the rest of the beat. So what I like to do is we export the whole thing. Let's put it through RC20, just to give it something else. Oh, I put something else on it. And I don't know what it was, because I didn't label it. That doesn't sound, it doesn't sound great. Okay, let's put on a new mixer track. Let's try and figure out. Just kind of experiment. We can do halftime with it. If I can find it. There it is. That is pure mud. Okay. Let's bring it up an octave. It's not the best sound. Oh man, that sounds ugly. Okay, let's try and fix it. Having an intro that's kind of unrecognizable from the actual beat is something I'm a big fan of, just because it gives that sense of unexpectedness. Maybe a little altar boy. We'll bring it up an octave. That's a dumb decision. What should we do to this? Okay, let's just do some EQ. Take out some of this. Okay, we'll have some reverb. I'm gonna EQ that snare so it's just not as present. I tried that. It was not good the first time. Okay, maybe a delay right here. Bandpass. And then RC20. Some crystallizer for our high end. That doesn't sound bad. I'm gonna introduce that octave one kind of halfway in, just because it just seems a bit too dark. There, like that. I'm gonna do a little automation clip so it doesn't come in too abruptly. Like this. Right click and create an automation clip. We are just dragging this bottom point here. You can put a crash on that down, be like this. Let me hear that one more time. Just want to make this one specifically a bit quieter. Okay, I think I'm done.